Hello, welcome to Sales Tips by Fortreal Estate Academy, Nigeria's #1 real estate academy. In this particular video, we're going to be looking at something very important. As a matter of fact, for every realtor out there, your goal is for you to, or part of your goal, your ultimate goal in the real estate sector when you make a sale is that you want to earn a commission. However, there is always something that is blocking you from making a sale. And without a sale, there's not going to be any commission from anywhere, right? So in this particular video, I'm going to be looking at that singular factor that is preventing a lot of realtors from making sales, which ultimately is preventing the money from dropping into the pocket. And that is referred to as objections. Yes, objections. Objections are real. And as a matter of fact, you have had a lot of objections if you are already trying to sell, but those objections have been the reason why you may not have been able to close the deals the way you want it, or even close any at all. And you have to be able to master the art of dealing with objections if you want to truly sell consistently. And that is why we're shooting this particular video. That is why Fortreal Estate Academy exists at a broader level. And based on the demands that we usually will have from the comment section as well as from our other trainings, I needed to do this particular video because I know that this video is core to whether you're going to make sales or not. And that's why we have this conversation that we're doing here, which is apparently for free. And of course, if you're looking to go for more and be able to get the total package, the body of knowledge that you will require to be able to make sales consistently, emphasis on the word consistently, then you may want to consider enrolling for our paid program at our master program at the master level. And the number to reach out is right on your screen if you're ready to go in and jump into that realm where you have everything you need, both in terms of knowledge and skill, to be able to sell real estate consistently. In the meantime, this video is very important and it's going to be power packed in a way that you do not want to miss any moment in this particular video up to the very end, because I'm going to share with you the formula that can help you deal with objections. From my experience selling real estate, there are at least 20 types of objections that you either have experienced, will experience, or will forever experience selling real estate. And having mastered how to deal with these objections, I thought it was wise that I do a video like this. Just before I jump right in, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like the video, drop a comment, and share this video with your friend. So let's get right into the conversation. The very first thing I'm going to have to say is, let's define objection. Objections, in very simple terms, is basically that stumbling block that is right on your way to closing that deal. And if you have capacity, if you have grown and you are trained, objections are meant to become your stepping stone to closing a deal, right? They are meant to be stumbling blocks. In other words, they're meant to prevent you, but with capacity, you're going to be able to translate and move that stumbling block to become a stepping stone to closing that deal in a way that you can even close more deals with that particular client. Right. And the moment you've dealt with some major objections, those clients become repeated clients, and every transaction with them gets easier. So in other words, objections are basically feedbacks that you get from a client in the course of closing the client. Feedbacks that are sometimes negative, and other times they're basically reasons why the client may decide not to buy or make a purchase, and you have to always look out for them. I'm hoping I'm able to deal with all of these objections in this particular video, but one thing I have to make sure that you understand in the very beginning of this conversation is that I have developed a formula from my experience of selling real estate and having dealt with a lot of objections. I have developed a formula that always helps me to be able to deal with the objections. And the formula is simply LU/PPF plus a C, right? I'm sure it's right on your screen right now. LU/PPF plus a C. Now, the first L is listening. The U right there is understanding, right? The first P is purpose. The second P is pain. And the F is fear. The last C I'm going to have to explain at the very end of the video. Now, the first word there, which is the L, is that if you want to be able to deal with clients' objections, you need to listen. Because most of the times, if you are able to ask the very right questions, if you have the capacity to ask the right questions, the client definitely will give you the solution to the next objection or the objection they're going to bring to you in the course of the conversation or in the course of the meeting, right? So if you are able to listen, take note to understand, don't listen to reply. I mean, don't hear what the guy is saying to reply. Listen to understand, which is why it is LU, right? So if you're able to understand what the guy is sharing with you and what you're part of what you're meant to listen to is the purpose of the client, the pain of the client, as well as the fear of the client. And the first P right there simply means purpose, right? And then under the purpose, we're looking at why does this person want to buy a land? Why is this person looking to part away with this money? Why? The whole idea of the purpose is why making this decision? Why are you reaching out? Right? What do you want to achieve? There's a lot of why realities under the P. Now, under the next for the next P, we're talking about the pain. Now, the pain at this point, we're looking at certain things that may have hurt the person directly or indirectly that the person is trying to avoid. In fact, the P sort of relates with the fear a little bit, but what causes the fear is the pain. You don't have to look at only the fear. You must pay attention to the pain, because if you only focus on the fear, you're going to lose out on the pain, right? So the pain most of the times could be either be personal or from somebody else. For example, he or she may have been scammed in the past or bought a land that she never got allocated, or did something in real estate and it ended up really badly, right? Or it was his cousin or father or mother or family member, whoever, right? But either ways, it's a pain right there. Possibly really hurts the person in a way that the person may have now decided not to do real estate again, right? But even though the guy is reaching out to you, that pain is there, and then it comes with a fear. It sort of now gives birth to a fear as a symptom of that pain. But by virtue of that fear, the guy is afraid. He doesn't want to repeat that pattern, right? So in the course of having a conversation with a client, you are meant to find a way to figure out the PPF, or the guy may just pour it out to you. And if the client eventually does, you have to figure out a way to make sure that you understand all of those things, because you're going to need it at the end of the day during the course of closing. And if you're able to listen carefully to understand these three things, it will definitely help you in the course of responding to the objections that the client is going to bring. You will remember I said there is a plus C, and I'm going to explain that at the end of the video. Now, let me give you types of objections. And under these types of objections, I really want to spend time dealing with them, because there are different elements to every type of objection. And the very first one, and one of the most common, is that it is far. The land is far, the location is far. Now, you have to always establish why this person is saying it is far. Is it far from where I live right now? Or it is far from an intending location that I possibly want to live in, or it is far from where my office is, or it is far from the central business district or the central areas of your city, right? If you're able to establish these realities, it will help you to determine whether the person is speaking out of ignorance or the person is speaking out of his purpose, right? Because this person may have a reason why he wants to make this investment. It's possible that the person is looking to build a house close to his future office or close to his present office or whatever. You just have to be able to understand the person and not just conclude and then start suggesting another product, right? Because you can decide to suggest another product and it's even further than what the guy wanted. And in fact, for me, I do less inspections because most of the times I've had the conversations, and of course, because of the way I do my videos as well, I am able to most of the times prevent inspections from happening. And you already know the importance of that. It saves you fuel, operational costs, and everything in between, right? So you don't have to just jump on inspection. Client just calls you, oh, I see your video, or I've seen your video about Fortreal Estate, and then boom, let's go for inspection. And the guy goes for inspection, and then you realize that it's totally off the purpose of this guy's purpose of reaching out, or why he wants to make this investment, right? So you must look out for the purpose to be able to deal with the question of whether it is far or it is not far, or if the guy really has something that you don't have, and then you have to find an alternative to that. So while dealing with the issue of it is far, you have to look out for the purpose of the investment or the choice of location. And the second very common type of objection is trust issues. It's real, it's a major objection. And as a matter of fact, it doesn't, in fact, for most of the objections, they may not necessarily come to you directly as per in a very clear manner. Sometimes you just have to denote that this person is having this issue, and you have to be able to deal with it before it gets out of hand. Nobody's going to come to you and just say, "Oh, I don't trust you," right? If it doesn't trust you, it won't reach out to you. But if someone can reach out to you, but still have trust issues, so you have to find a way to figure it out and make sure that you're projecting your brand in a very good way, right? And on that trust issue, there are two things I put out here: character plus branding. And the idea of the character is that is who you are. In other words, you have to be trustworthy. Then, when you have become trustworthy, which has become or which is your character, you can now project a trustworthy brand. As a matter of fact, you can be trustworthy but not be trusted because you haven't projected a trustworthy brand. Nobody's just going to trust you. There are reasons why people trust people, right? So it's important that you bring in the double P element here, which is the projection equals perception. If you don't project a trustworthy brand, nobody's going to see a trustworthy brand and nobody's going to trust you. You can trust me on that, right? So you must look out for your character and do branding in a way that can present your brand as a trustworthy brand. I think I'm going to just leave it at that. Number 3 is it is in the bush. Now, this looks a bit like it is far, but it may come off with a different element. Right at this point, you have to again look out for the person's purpose of investment, as well as look out for what the person is looking to achieve in terms of ROI. Right, the person may not necessarily need a bush, right, or the person may just need a different kind of bush. Right, it's all about the person's purpose. Again, you have to drive back to the person's purpose. Next is that it's expensive. It is expensive. Now, the issue of it is expensive is a matter of purpose versus perceived value. I mean, purpose, perceived value, as well as the budget. Now, I can have the purpose, or my purpose could be to buy land in the heart of Abuja, right? And then for me, it comes off as higher than my purpose based on what the guy tells me, the realtor tells me. But on the other hand, I can say it is expensive if I don't perceive or understand that a location like that is meant to be expensive, right? So one of the reasons, or one of the things that naturally would happen is that when you share a product with a client, I have always taught this. Now, before you mention the price of any product, make sure that you have justified the price. Make sure that you have communicated the value rather. Before you call or mention the price of a product, make sure that you have communicated the value appropriately in a way that, in fact, always carry this at the back of your mind. Before you say it's 5 million, make sure that you have communicated the value in a way that the guy is expecting that this place is going to be for 10 million. So by the time you are done, the guy feels like, and you mentioned 5 million, the guy feels like, oh, wow, this is really nice. It's affordable. It's cheap, right? Or if you don't have an option and the price is already mentioned, the next thing you have to do is that you make sure that you justify the value. Right, justify the price in a way that the guy now, okay, it's not bad, it's nice, okay, I see why it's that price, right? So your job is to make sure that the value is perceived, because if the guy perceives the value of your product as 5 million and you are telling him that the product is 10 million, then the guy is going to say it is expensive. So the issue of it is expensive is either a lack of projected value, present perceived value, or the person's budget. If it is the person's budget, then you have to educate the person to understand why the person cannot afford that, or why the person cannot get that product at the price that he or she budgeted, right? So it's a lot of conversations, and different things apply depending on the client that you're looking at. But again, the summary of dealing with the question of it is expensive is that you have to look at the person's budget, look at the perceived value, and of course the projected value of the particular product in line with the guy's purpose. Very important. The very next one we have to quickly look at, because we're running out of time already, is the issue of I cannot afford it. This again is a matter of budgeting. and purpose. It looks a bit like it is expensive, but it's different because this time around it's not a matter of projected or perceived value. It's simply a matter of I cannot afford it. And if the person cannot afford it, your job now is to present the next best alternative that gives the value that the person expects. That is how to deal with this particular one. And the next is the title is not what I want. This is a serious matter and it speaks to how knowledgeable you are with the legal part of the business. Because sometimes I see realtors talk about CFO when there's no reason to talk about CFO. Clients bring up the issue of CFO and a realtor agrees when ordinarily CFO is not even in the equation because of the type of transaction that is involved, right? And I mean, you know that I'm a lawyer and this is something that I can literally talk about off my head, right? So it's important that as a realtor, you become legally smart, and that we, in fact, we literally have to dedicate a full course for that in our program at master level of our program, and that is the real estate law course, right? It's a complete course on its own with about 15 lectures or so. So that totally gives you the complete body of knowledge as it relates to the legal part of the business, and you need to be able to have that legal understanding to be able to deal with all legal issues, title issues as it relates to objections in real estate. And then the next one is I am not ready. I will let you know when I am ready. This is a matter of timing, budget, lack of understanding, lack of urgency, and scarcity. Again, let me take it. This is a matter of timing, budget, lack of understanding, lack of urgency, and scarcity. And I'm not sure if I should properly deal with this or just run through or just deal with this and deal with the rest in another video. Okay, so let's do it this way. Now, under this particular issue of timing, I am not ready, or I will let you know when I'm ready. The issue is that this person may sincerely not be ready. The person may just be interested at this point, but the person is not capable. Your job is to understand. Now, at other times, the person may have the money, but what you have presented may now look like, okay, it's not what something I can afford right now. I'm not ready for this right now, right? At that point, it's a matter of lack of urgency. Because if there's no urgency in the equation, the guy may just feel like, okay, let me just relax. I can buy it whenever. But the reality, which is where your communication, understanding of real estate comes in, is that you have to explain to this guy, presenting or using the tactics of scarcity and urgency to educate this guy to understand that this is beyond your readiness or whether you're ready right now or not. Because by the time you're coming back, this is no longer going to be the price. This is the reality of real estate. It's not you trying to force or pressure him to buy. You have to communicate it in a way that this person truly understands that this is actually how the system operates. If I want it right now and I can afford it, I need to go for it, right? If I can't afford it, then I can genuinely wait, right? But if I have the money and I just don't feel the need to go for it right now, that is where you need to bring in, communicate your capacity, make the person understand how the business works and how real estate works, and then bring in urgency and scarcity. Time will fail us to deal with the rest. I literally have about 15 more to go, but I'm sure we can do in continue in the next part of this particular video. My name again is Raymond Ijoma, and I am the lead facilitator of the Fortreal Real Estate Academy. And clearly you can see that what we are doing here is very practical. It is from experience and it is totally valuable. And imagine what you're getting here for free. Just imagine what the paid masterclass will be. It's a complete body of knowledge that gives you everything you need to know, but in terms of knowledge, and then translates to skill that can help you be able to close consistently. Remember, I always use the word consistently and emphasis on that. So if you're looking to start your journey to selling real estate consistently with everything you need, I may want to encourage you to consider enrolling for our paid program. And you can reach out to the number on your screen for more details. In the meantime, do make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop a comment, and of course, leave a feedback for us. If you have questions, you can drop in the comment section. Let us generally know how this video was helpful to you. And very importantly, share this with your friend, because that friend may close a deal by virtue of watching this particular video and applying what he or she learns in this particular video, right? So just stay in touch, and we look forward to the very next conversation we're going to have on this amazing YouTube channel. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.